think when people hear cop drama, they think it's gonna be, we're only gonna talk about this thing, or we're only gonna talk about this thing. But we talk about everything, and we meet so many people who have very different views on things. This show asks what it means to be a good cop, and is it even possible? And she learns that it is, and that you have to fight for it, and that there are people who are always gonna take advantage. It's not just one side. It's not just absolute heroism.
A Good Cop is about 3 police officers at different stages of their career who have to make tough moral decisions.
So you have the rookie who goes from a anti-police protester and becomes a police officer. Then you have Jalen Daniels, and he has been on the force for 7, 8 years, but he gets pulled into the Internal Affairs Bureau. And then you have the captain, close to retiring, he's a few years off, but he doesn't want to because he feels responsible. Through these 3 characters, we have 3 very different viewpoints.
They all have these human problems that they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. I think corruption is one of the biggest ones that the police officers have to face. A lot of these characters have to make sure that they stay true to themselves.
The people who are in positions of authority that abuse their position of authority, who's watching them? Who's going to catch them? You know, if we're interested in having a civil society in which people treat each other in a respectful manner, and in this series, perhaps there are those that are not doing that, and they're going to meet some justice.
With this show, you think it's going to go one way, and then all of a sudden it's going to start to go another way.
This young female Taylor, who is a police recruit, it's all to do with the turmoil inside her head with regards to her initial cautious distrust or suspicion of police. I think little by little, she starts questioning her belief systems about that.
I think people should watch A Good Cop because it really touches upon real life issues that we're going through right now. And that's why I think it's so important, you know, to tell these stories.
Almost every show, popular show, focuses on the detectives, but they kind of forgot about the uniform officers. They put their life in jeopardy every single day when they step out of their car, when they walk their beat.
What the show does really wonderfully is it creates a lot of different characters with a lot of different backstories, a lot of different problems, a lot of different paths in life.
Things happen in this show that has us questioning each character, ourself, our role, our position, and sometimes even our humanity.
Please don't tell me you pocketed some of that money. Look, I thought about it, all right?
Deep down, we're all human. We all, can choose to go one path or the other, and it's going to show 3 different versions of 3 officers in 3 different points in times. I think anyone who loves crime, mystery, suspense, this has it all, in my opinion. So I believe everyone is going to love it.
What people are going to be surprised about is about how amazingly good the show is. The script, how perfectly cast everyone is, the superb product.
It's not your typical cop catches bad guy. I think it's more to do with this young lady and what she believes in and her psychological transition. She puts herself in the shoes of the police officer.
It's one of those shows that has excitement at every episode, so there's always something happening. It's a show to me that is about crime and how crime affects everybody. Affects the police, affects politics, affects people at home, affects the owner of a bodega. That's a story that we're telling, and I think that is what makes this story special.
You think cop show. It's like, okay, we know what this is going to be like because let's admit it, there's a lot of cop shows on TV. But that this is going to explore some areas a bit more in depth that you may not think about what it takes to keep your integrity when everything around you is falling apart.
There are twists and turns that are not obvious. And even when you think they are, they change up.
You don't hear too many good stories anymore about an officer doing something good. So automatically right off the bat, they're going to hear a good cop and they want to see what a good cop looks like, because it's sad to say that, but it is the truth. And you're going to get the best examples of, what not just a good cop, but multiple good cops are like based from this show.
From the very beginning, from the first couple of minutes when you watch the show, you're going to see us touching on topics that a lot of other shows won't touch. So I think that might surprise viewers in a good way. We're touching on a lot of issues, but we're not taking sides. The show is very careful not to sort of railroad you down a certain opinion or a certain belief system. The characters are very well fleshed out, and they're not just throwing out opinions in a hollow way. They back them up with their own beliefs and reasons they've built up to that. I think that'll surprise viewers, and I think the audience will be surprised at how drawn into the story and how invested in the story they get.
The show borrows from real life themes, real situations, real things that happen in life that you see on the news, horrific deceptions, horrible horrors. And the show takes that and brings it in, and it allows us to see those individuals that want to stand up for truth and justice, how they counter that and how they attempt their best to make things better.
There are a multitude of things that is going to lock them into the show. I think one of them being the characters. These people that are fully fleshed out, these people that have feelings, these people that have problems, these people that are super relatable, and everything is so relative, topical to what's happening today. I think the audience wants to know what the final ending is to the chapter that we're living in the modern world. And I think this show gives you an idea as for the direction that we could head in if the world were to get itself together.
When I was reading the script, there were moments where I'd literally go, oh no, really, I think it grips you. And I think part of that is because it's not just plot, it's because of the really strong relationships and the character dynamics. I think generally some of these procedurals, it's like every episode is just a contained little plot where it's just about who done it and who was the one who did that thing. But that's not what this is. It's that each individual case enlightens each character. It brings them closer to an understanding about who they are. And watching that macro arc over the whole thing is amazing and gripping. And I think everyone has something to love. There is adventure, and there's romance, and there's drama, and there's crime and thrill, and I think there's something in it for everyone.
There's action, love stories, there's good cops, there's bad cops. I think that everyone who tunes in will find something that they can identify with in the show.
There's such a range of characters. There's such a range of experiences, and there's a lot of twists and turns.
I don't know who wouldn't like the show. It's a little bit of something for everybody. It is a cop show, but there are different scenarios and there's different points of view that is not expressed in most other cop shows.
Who's gonna like the show? My mom is gonna love this show. She's gonna love watching me. It's a show for everyone. It's a show about everyone. It's a show that's shot in New York with New Yorkers. It makes you feel at home. Everybody.
You didn't get caught with your hand in the cookie jar, did you?
No, sir.